WWE comes again with its yearly game to provide the full experience of wrestling with your favorite superstars and with various game modes and better graphics. Today we have full review for WWE 2K23. So watch the video, subscribe and hit the like button and let's get started. Like the previous game, WWE 2K23 features a hybrid of arcade and simulation gameplay. War Games makes its debut for the first time in any WWE 2K game, with online support added for the Royal Rumble match. Game modes such as My Faction, My GM, Showcase, Universe Career, Mode My Rise, and the full Creation Suite return with new features. Showcase features cover star John Cena, allowing players to recreate the most notable losses in his career, featuring narration from Cena himself, which ends with 3 fictional matches, 2 matches where the player uses any of the 11 superstars that defeated Cena during his career, including 2 versions of The Undertaker, the Rated R Superstar Edge, and the Beast Brock Lesnar. WWE 2K23 gameplay remains largely the same as WWE 2K22. In terms of what you can and cannot do in the ring, you take control of one of the wrestlers available in the game and battle against the wrestlers controlled either by an AI or by a human player. Outside of the ring, WWE 2K23 also offers a similar array of the game modes that were presented in the last year's game. Exhibition matches for those who just want to get into the ring and play matches. My Universe for those who want to fantasy book wrestling shows. My GM for those who want to play a management sim style game mode that involves running WWE TV shows. My Rise for those who want to play as a role play as a superstar trying to make a name in WWE, as well as the Division My Faction mode by the numbers game mode that forces in microtransaction and seasonal live service elements to the game. Of course, there are also online multiplayers offering that let players go head to head against others. Sadly though, WWE 2K23 isn't the version of the game that allow players to play online against other players in My Universe or My GM, which is a huge disappointment for many fans of the game. While the selection is exactly the same as the last year's, what is offered on the menu is deeper and most impressive. Visual concepts really built upon what they already have and made everything better. Granted, not all game modes received the same amount of attention from the improvement department, but those that didn't get the attention killed it this year. For example, My GM mode, a game mode that has been requested by players for years before being reinstated in 2K22, is back this year and it's arguably the one that received the most improvements in this year's. Last year's version was serviceably enough, and criticisms were mostly aimed at its lack of depth. Hence, this year's version of My GM has a way so much depth. The growth has been exponential. From a one-on-one head-to-head matchup between 2 GMs, the game mode now offers up to 4 players managing 4 different shows. The match varieties were also expanded to include match types that were absent last year, and other bells and whistles have been added to make the game mode more competitive and dynamic. My Universe was also improved to include a new momentum system that allowed players more control over how events play out in their shows. Visual concepts also now allow a higher degree of freedom for players in My Universe, as there is now a free mode that allows players to do whatever they want and have their shows play out exactly as they want them to. My Rise also received a massive upgrade this year, now offering 2 very different stories. The Luck follows a male wrestler who has traveled the world making a name for himself, now finding himself debuting in WWE with a lousy name and gimmick. The Legacy, on the other hand, follows a female wrestler who arrives at WWE living under the shadow of WWE legend Ant. Both storylines paths offers compelling stories, and this time around, visual concepts found the right mix of silliness and drama, making it easier for players to get invested in their My Rise career. It's also worth noting that My Rise isn't as grindy as my career in NBA 2K. The game mode that didn't receive much improvement and for me is good thing is My Faction. Visual Concepts just added online multiplayer functionality and that's pretty much it. You can now have your My Faction wrestler go against other real player My Faction wrestlers, but you will have to constrain yourself to this game mode when you have regular online matches is beyond me. Just like last year, My Faction is still a grindy game mode and is still easy ignorable, at least for my taste. And finally, the cream of the crop, the Showcase mode. This year's version is by far the most engaging use of Showcase mode in any 2K game before. John Cena's charisma also just oozes out in this game mode, and his added insight begged the fans' appreciation for some of his iconic matches throughout his illustrious career. Having the player control Cena's opponents in his biggest losses was stock for genius, and it ties into Cena's motto of never give up and hustle, royalty and respect. I'm really looking forward to how they will top this year's Showcase mode next year, as it will take yet another brilliant idea to surpass this, and they can't just simply do a repeat next year and have the same impact. While we can discuss all the surprises here so as not to spoil players, fans who play through all the matches are in front a treat. At glance, WWE 2K23 looks just like WWE 2K22. That is mostly true, but from my personal preview, I felt like this year's models are much smoother on the surface, and sometimes even look prosthetic-like. There is still a lot of clipping to clothes and flesh in some animations and entrances, especially in animations that involve foreign objects and championship belts. The visual presentation this year looks much better to me. The main menu design is just superb and much more appealing, that leaves last year's main menu pale in comparison. Finally, WWE 2K23 is better than the older version from different aspects, and the fans will enjoy this game with its various wrestlers and gameplay modes. There are still bugs and glitches that I hope to be solved with updates. My rating for this game is 7 out of 10. Thank you for watching to this point, and don't forget to subscribe for all upcoming episodes. See you in another video. Peace.